Hi, and welcome to another episode of Type with Me. In this week's episode, I'm going to talk about Variadic tuples. It's a new feature within TypeScript 4.0, right? So let's see what it is and how you can use it within your TypeScript application. So first of all, what are tuples? Well, tuples are arrays where you define here how many items it will have and what the types are of these items. So in this case, person props is an array with one element that is a string and one element that is a number, right? So here I have my name and my age is not 37, but my age is 35. All right, so that's what tuples are. I'm just gonna run this. So I do title run index.ts. And here we go, we have my name and then my age, right? So that's really great, and yeah, let's go further with this. So imagine that we want to add an element here within our person props, right? But we don't know what that element is. So what we do is here we do this, and we use generics, right? So with Variadic tuples we can do so. So what we can now do is say type profession person props equals person props, and then we can say that's the second one is a string, right? But of course we say here that it needs to be an array, so can do something like that. So another annotation that we could do, and that's much better, right? That's the following thing. So we can just say that we want to have one array of a string, right? So we can put here also a definition of a tuple, right? And then we can put it right here. So and then of course I can very easily do here something like prof, which is my profession, and then here I do profession person props, right? And then here I do something like line instructor, great. And then of course here I print out prof, right? I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna run it again, and of course you'll see that we have here Joris online instructor 35. So that's nice. Another thing that you could do is the following thing. You could say, okay, I want to have something like contact person props, and instead of a string I want to have a number. I'm just gonna copy and paste this, right? Of course here I need to make something like as name h2. Maybe I'm gonna do it like that, h2, and then short name 2, and then I'm gonna have here my contact. Of course here I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, for example. And of course this is still profession person props, so it says that string is not a number, right? But we can change it to contacts person props there. And now when we put here 2, contact and age 2, and then we can run it, and of course he prints that out. I want to add something else. I want to add a new number here, right? So now I need to add here another number. And of course here I need to add contact 2, for example. And then of course here I also gonna add contact 2, right? But you see what I want to go, right? This makes it very flexible. You can put whatever you want right here, and then here you can just say, okay, I want to have extra number and another number there, right? All right, so when we execute this one, we get, of course, this output. So this one is just another example here where we have another tuple where we have 2 which extends of unknown and then just an array, and u extends of unknown just an array. And then we can already say, okay, we want to have a bar with a boolean, beginning with a boolean and ending with a number, and so on. So, or you can just say, okay, I just want to have the string there, my tuple. So let's go a little bit further with functions, right? So what we could do here is declare something like this, right? It's just a normal function, and we could change this because what we could also do is do something like this, args, and then we can say that it's from the following type, right? It's from the following type, and that's just the same, right, than we had before. Of course, it's a little bit different, annotated a little bit different, been written a little bit different, because now you have just args, and otherwise you had 2 variable names. So again, I know that's a little bit different, but again, when you want to call this method, it's just the same. So if we go a little bit further with that, you will see that these kind of things are all the same kind of decorations for methods, right? So when we look at this, you will see that these things are just REST elements, right? That's what we know before. We're in the JavaScript world, and I know, or I suppose that you guys are already familiar with that. So next thing that I want to do and show you here is the following thing, right? I want to show you a tuple function that can have whatever arguments right there. And then of course we can just execute this one. And when we do that and we say console.log t1, t2, you'll see what it would be, right? So when we execute this one, you will see that we get, of course, here foo 1 and true, right? And here we will have bar and then our numbers, right? So that's really great. But you need to take into account that our REST things needs to be last, right? If I just want to put here 2, and then I'm gonna execute this, you will see that it still will work because it's of course I need to save my thing here, and then yeah, you'll see that it still works, right? But okay, that's fine. But if I want to do something like this, right? I want to do a different string, right? Then you will see that we have a problem right here because it said REST parameter must be at last in this definition. So with variadic tuples we can solve this, right? So you will see here that we have something like that. We have type here that has callback, and then of course it just has this is its arguments, right? It's the same like what we had right here, these arguments, right? And these arguments are of type not t, but these are of type starting with whatever we want in the beginning. And then of course our args, which is a callback function, right? And then you will see here that we have foo hello and then our callback function, and of course here foo hello and then it breaks, right? So if you want to declare something else, I'm gonna declare here else, alright, something else, right? Or just se to have it there. And then I want to do something like a string comma a number, right? And then of course when I want to do this, se, I need to have first a string, right? Because he is saying that T0 is a string, T1 is a number, and T2 needs to be a callback, right? So for that we can say that the first thing would be hello, the second one would be 2, 3, 4, and then of course I want to have the function there, right? So that's okay, that works. When I'm gonna remove this one here, you will see that he is going to complain, because yeah, he needs the first two arguments need to be first here a string and then a number, right? So that's great. In this case we can very easily define types where we want to say, okay, this is how it needs to be, right? And you will see in Node.js, for example, you will have a lot of callbacks, so it's nice to define these kind of structures in your code. And with Variadic tuples, we can solve this very easily. So I hope you understand how Variadic tuples work, how you can use it in your own code to define more awesome things, right? Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Please subscribe to my channel if you liked this tutorial, and thank you for watching. Bye.